So I already marked up this chart and I will reveal it now. So here's the full markup. So I added a few things that I didn't have originally, and this would be my template. This is the template that I would copy. I'd have this. And I want to run through this and just give you some highlights. And this is what I suggest for especially members that are in the den. This is a bare minimum markup. I'll start sharing some markups that I would be more detailed, but this is a bare minimum. So I'm just going to walk from the top. After you get done with your markup, you'll do a commentary. And you just want to do a commentary. And this commentary is you describing the market through the perspective of your trade system. Okay, it's not what happened. Anybody can look at a chart and see what happened. That's easy. You're relating it directly to the real-time decisions you would be making. So any insight that would help you answer the three questions: where is price coming from, where is it going, and how does it want to get there, you want to include in this. The other thing that I included in these boxes is I included its momentum short, how many bars, 25 minutes, and then a move, how big that move was. Now it depends on what market you're trading. I just track these moves in the dollar increments, and I know how to then calculate that for the actual moves. Now one thing I do want to say about these moves, okay, is that if you're trading, the biggest downfall of TradingView is the lack of tick charts. If you were trading tick charts, we'd be able to really calculate our exact amount of move. So on these moves, you just want to be, you're not going to capture the full move because most traders are going to wait for confirmation. You might have a better entry. So you're going to average what that move would, because you're going to get good at understanding how long would you stay in, what signal would you get to get out, for instance. And if you entered up here, you might have never got out of this trade. You might have just kept adding here because there was never a time when the chart really turned strongly momentum long. It was momentum fade, or it was momentum short the whole day. So obviously each one of these, you see the fades, you see some notes. So I used yellow for notes. So like here, over opening range low, first reaction. You always take the first reaction trade of anything. So there's the opening range low there. This is the first reaction, overshoot. It's the best reaction, so you take that trade. VWAP failure, so we have a VWAP failure. And you'll see here in the notes. But the one thing I wanted to point out before we go to the commentary is I wanted to point out this important box here. So this important box here, you should know this is one of the most valuable things you could be tracking in your trade system. You should know how many trade setups does your trade system provide you. And these are like prime setups. These aren't just questionable setups. These are prime setups every single day. Today, the Rexdog trade system provided 7 extremely high probable, easy to trade, and I say easy in air quotes, textbook. It provided 4 textbook momentum trades, and it provided 3 fade long trades. Remember what I said in the stream today? If you're not mastering momentum trades, you don't fade. Okay, so fades are hard to do. They're harder than momentum. Momentums are the easier trades to do. Once you mastered momentum, then you can start mastering fade trades. Now what's here is then I add up, so there's 7 total moves, for total momentum moves of 409, total fade moves of 205, and then for a total of 659. Now that's perfect world. That's you operating at maximum. That's you being around for the morning session, the afternoon session, and the closing session. Most of you guys know I do the morning, I do some afternoon if I'm around, and then I try to be there for the closing. So what you would want to do is come up with a factor of what really happens in your trading. And that's typically taking the total of what those moves are and then just multiply them by 75% or 50%. Fades, because they're harder to do, I always keep it below 50, so maybe 50 or 40. And that's what you're going to actually capture. So you could say on this day, if you're trading in your full PMS mode, primary mental state, if you're trading in your PMS mode, meaning that you're in tune with the market, you're not managed, you have no negative trading habits, you're doing very well, you're focused, you're executing right, 431 is what you would capture through 7 trades. And that's what this trading day would have provided you. This is every single day. That's about the average for the Rexdog trading system is it's between 350 and 400 of solid trades. That's the system I've developed. Now the final thing you want to do is just wrap it up in a commentary. And that's just, it's like, I'll just read this just because, I mean, you can read it too, but I'll read it. Gap up, puke day. I use terms that I like to use. Small tick gave perfect setup for momentum short. Rest of the day was primary momentum, good trade day. Afternoon session even had a good run. Standard 4 sell-off wave pattern. If you see here, sell-off 1. And I'll just use the arrow. Sell-off 1, sell-off 2, sell-off 3. Come up a little bit above this level here. Sell-off 4 for exhaustion. Looks like the next day might try to move up. We don't know. We'll look at the overnight session. VWAP fades had clear signals on tick charts and below each pivot low. So typically I'd have a note there. VWAP also a reliable magnet and indicator used with momentum indicators in the system. So the VWAP tracked very well with the momentum of the overall day. Today, reminder of how well the RD extension lines really are for stall and support areas. So you can see here that for the rejection areas, the Rexdog extension lines did very well. So in real time, as you start doing these commentaries, you're going to start seeing trends. It's like your journal. You're going to start seeing trends, and then in real time, it's going to be easier than to take trades because you're gonna see the pattern. If you see a pattern day after day after day after day, sorry, Rex barked. So sorry, Rex decided to bark. Now, so that's really the name of the game. Look, let me end the video with this, okay? If you're following my content, if you're in the membership, if you're doing anything around trading, you've made a decision, whether or not you want to consciously acknowledge it or not. You've made a decision that you are able to pull capital from the market by trading simple charts. You're not doing any maybe you're doing fundamental analysis. I don't do any fundamental analysis. It's just a waste of time. I don't even look at the news anymore. But what you said is I have the ability to pull capital from the market by simply looking at charts. Charts are visual. Charts provide you visual information. In order to act on visual information, you need to recognize patterns. So then you need to develop a consistent process for you to learn new patterns. The Rexdog system provides you where to look for those patterns. That's why it's a really great system. But you still need to be able to recognize them in real time. It's one thing to go back in a chart and say, oh, that was so obvious. It's a lot harder in real time. So that's the first thing I think a lot of people don't realize is that you've put limitations on yourself, and then you've got to figure out, okay, these are the limitations. I'm going to pull capital from the market with only using charts. So how do I build a process so every day I'm adding to my database in my mind of patterns that I can exploit in the market? All right, so that's all in this video. If you haven't joined Discord or Telegram, there's links down below. If you haven't subscribed, you'll definitely want to subscribe. Any questions or any feedback on this video or anything else, you can leave a comment down below. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.